Hello people that in the house other than today I'm just going to talk about a well-being country and how I would love to see Ireland as a well-being country. What I mean by well-being, I'm sure people know what I mean by it, but I'm going to explain it, what I mean by people being happy, people not worrying about the next bill that's going to go through the doorstep, people worrying about what could come next, don't know what's going to come next. Countries like Finland, Norway, Denmark, people enjoy their life, people don't worry about things, people don't kill themselves worrying about things and walk themselves into an early grave, and do not have any corruption in the countries or anything, because these countries are very extremely, there's barely any corruption anywhere, and you hear of corruption in Finland or Norway or Denmark, then you're in the wrong country, because their government would not take shite like that. They would not take back up in the country or anything like that. They would not, literally probably mass murder if you done that over there. But what I mean by well-being is people should understand each other. I'm a very understanding person, believe me in that. I don't lie. One thing I don't do, I don't lie to people. I'm very understanding. I understand people who have mental health issues. I understand people who have dyslexia and autism, because I went through it. I know. That's what relates me to only people. People might think people with mental health issues not are weird, but you have to understand where they come from and what happened to them. You have to. That's the first key you have to understand. And then you would just have to try and get on with each other, because we're on this earth to live our lives to the fullest, to the best we can, and we try and help each other. That's one thing we try and do. No matter who it is, we always try and help each other, because as I always look at it, once or twice never helped somebody when I was younger, and that probably came back to bite me in the backside, because I learned from them two occasions where I didn't help somebody. This was when I was really young, and somebody asked for help. That came back to bite me in the backside in the end. And nowadays I'm always helping people. I never stop helping people, and that's one thing. I'm too much of a giver. That's the thing. I'm too much of a giver. I'm always giving help to people and all that, but I'm never asking for anything back. That's one thing that's hugely stands out to me. Looking at myself, that's one thing. I don't really think much of myself, and I might as well be very honest with you. I don't really think much of myself. I'm always thinking that I'm just nobody. That's what it depends. But everybody's their own individual person, and I suppose everybody has their own opinion. Loads of people say I'm probably white and that and should be dead, but that's their opinion, and life goes on, I suppose. But as I was saying about well-being country, I would just love everybody to understand each other, to get on with each other, to try and make the most of the situation they have. Because I know people who have absolutely terrible illnesses, extremely bad heart conditions and all that could take a heart attack at any moment in time, and they can't do things they want to do. And you see young people, kind of causing trouble for them. That's what I'm trying to come at them. I would love for young people just to understand. Like, young people don't understand nowadays that people have conditions, health issues, mental health issues. They have to understand. That's one thing I understand before I talk to somebody. If I know, I try and find out what's what. Do they have any medical conditions or anything like that? The same in politics. I always try and find out about my opponent before I absolutely tear the legs off them. Because if they're not able to take a political discussion and being told what's right and what's wrong, then, like, once or twice I came across two councillors, or even one senator once I came across, and I was like to somebody, does he have any health issues or anything? And did have health issues, and I went easy on them. And that's the only reason why, because that health problems, I wouldn't be that fierce with them, but I'd put them in the place if they came at me or said anything wrong, or I didn't like what they were saying, and I would oppose them and say, look, this is this and that's that, and if you don't like this, then you can go somewhere else. But seriously, but you have to try and acknowledge that people have problems and all that. Like, you can understand, we can criticise everybody. Like, we criticise Simon Coveney, the Taoiseach, for something. We don't know if his child's sick at home, or we don't know anything like that. And it affects the human mind. You might not take it, but one in the country, and if your child's sick, like, that's, your child comes before the country. Yeah, I know, like, I don't have a child, but your flesh and blood becomes before the country. He might not want it to be like that, but if his child's sick and, God forbid, God forbid if ever was, because I hate to see a child sick. That's one thing I absolutely hate to see. Poor child sick, like it's, the child's not sick, but just say if he was sick, or, things like that. I would love people just to understand each other. That's one thing I would just love. If I could do one thing in this culture, I'd love to just make sure everybody could just understand each other and get on with each other and just try and make the most and try not to worry about things. That's one thing I would love. That's one thing that's really annoying these Ireland at the moment in time. No matter where you go, Dublin, Cork, Kerry, you always see people worrying about being affected, or people worried about if they speak out against this person, they're going to get jailed, or people saying if I do this or if I do that, I'm going to get arrested for using my free speech or protesting. Like these things, people are worrying themselves to death about, and we don't understand it. And we should try and understand. Like it's all, as everybody always says, you try your best to understand things. Thank you for watching. I would have, but just to do me a favour, but you always try and look at the situation before you react. Try and take it 3 or 4 seconds. Like, right, who am I talking to here? Are they a person that could get upset very easily? I have to try and be a tiny bit nice to them, Like, it's always good to be nice, and that's one thing I was always taught when I was growing up. It's always good to be nice. It takes nothing to be nice. So yeah, thank you for watching, subscribe more, and bye.